Hey, hi. Oh, this is me being a mom with a giant zit. Why? Because I get zits. Um. Anyway, I'm 55 and I still get zits. This is just not right. It's not right. I tell you, it's not right. But I kind of know why. So anyway, I'm a mom. I'm a mom. I was going to Carl's Jr. to get those. Now I don't eat a lot of dairy. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we suffer what the animal suffers. And actually, me getting these donuts is really rude. But at the same time, they are already made. What we need to do is stop using dairy in human foods and stop eating meat, killing animals, and then complaining when someone's mean to an animal while we're eating one. It doesn't make any sense, does it really? If you think about it, it's just like we segregate nature, therefore we would segregate man. So I'm someone that understands some of the integrity of the universe, the logic of the universe, quantum science. The physics part, I'm not very good at the math, but I'm very good at understanding cause and effect. Like really good, like better than most human beings, like better at integrity than most human beings. That doesn't mean I'm not fair. This place had donuts. Who has the little donuts? Do you know who has the little donuts? Is it this place or Burger King? It's Burger King. And damn it. Burger King has those little Fruit Loop donuts. Those things are. So I've only had them once. I had them the other day. I was just like,
head east
they
towards
taste
Southwestern
like Fruit
Avenue.
Loops. They taste like, only you're probably better off eating Fruit Loops because I don't think there's any dairy in Fruit Loops or egg or anything. So you're better off popping Fruit Loops. So anyway, I'm dealing with, I've got my laundry in the back seat and my son Noah, his laundry is in the front seat. Now he's at an acute care facility for those of his friends that are tuning in, and thank you for the love. It means a lot. You've given me a lot of strength, and Noah can feel it because there Noah is laying in bed, like looking around, like, you can massage my feet now, Mom. I like it when you massage my feet. And you can massage my hands. Only I try not to bother his hands too much because then I'm like in his face and I can't really see him. And he's looking for me like, hey, Mom, where are you? He likes to see me. And so either he recognizes me as Mom or just his favorite caregiver. So it's really sweet. I'll take any of it as long as I still get to care for my son. Noah wouldn't want me to tell his story. So I'm not going to tell his story, but I'm going to tell my story. Because Noah respects that I need to be heard for whatever reason. And when I tell my story, you're going to look at my son like, wow, you had to put up with that and you still turned out amazing. So Noah's a very loving person. But he didn't get recognized growing up for being a really loving person. He got recognized for being curious and active, and I didn't take him to a lot of birthday parties and stuff. And we didn't know a whole lot of people. And Noah slept over someone's house a couple of times when he was younger. And it was a celebrity family, the Wayans family. And Daphne was my friend. And our daughters went to school together. And so Noah would spend the night with my daughter Molly because Noah was friends with little Kenan. And so Noah he was never subjected really to other little kids that had traditional upbringings, except my family. And my brother, his wife, did not appreciate Noah's presence the way I appreciate Noah's presence. She's very different than I am. And which is ironic because most people associate people with tattoos as people that are laid back and stuff, and that is my brother's like that cool guy that has tattoos, that does custom paint jobs on cool cars, and his wife is that cool mom that like gets her hair done but she still wears like skater clothes, and their best friends are like famous snowboarders. They're like skaters and snowboarders. This is like their tribe. But somehow geeky me didn't mesh well with her for some reason. And I know the story, and I know some of it, and I know the way the universe works, and I know the energy I put out there. And that universal law, judge.
In 300 feet, turn right onto West.
Judge and you will
Take
be
the
judged.
next right onto West 6th Street, then turn right onto South Manhattan Place.
So whatever you judge becomes your reality. Now, I judged her, therefore she judged my child. It's no joke. And so anyway, make a very long story shorter, I see things before they happen. I talk to ghosts, right? They call me up on the phone. This is no joke. It really happens. And
take the next right onto South Manhattan Place.
I have visions of things before they happen, or as they're happening. Imagine.
In 600 feet, turn right onto West 5th Street.
Sorry, I'm listening to navigation. I'll wake up from a dream, like asleep, and my eyes are, and this might happen to you, and I'm going to explain what's happening.
Take the next right onto West 5th Street, then turn left onto Southwestern Avenue.
I will be at that stage where I'm getting ready to wake up, and my eyes are still closed, and in black and grayish color.
Take the next left onto Southwestern Avenue.
The navigation's talking. Don't tell your navigation to shut up, because you know what'll happen if you tell it to shut up. It'll go off one day when you really need it to be on. It'll remember you told it to shut up, and it'll go, remember that time you told me to shut up? Well, I'm being quiet now. And you're like, no. Or the sound won't work on your phone. First, it happens to me. It's happened to me quite a bit when I am listening to the navigation, and I'm like, oh, shut up. Shut up, shut up. You know, the phone's ringing at the same time, and just, you have too much going on. And then the navigation will stop when someone calls you right when you really need to get to it, turn off. You're not supposed to answer your phone. So if you watch these videos over time, slowly I will ingrain in you how the universe works without you having to study quantum physics. You won't even have to study. By the time I'm done with you, you'll go, no way, she taught me how the universe works. That's impressive. How did she do that? She taught me the law of attraction, and she didn't charge me $700 a month to teach it to me. I didn't have to join a class. I didn't have to do anything.
Continue on Southwestern Avenue
That
for 1.5
is
miles.
Why? Because I am pretty sure I'm one of the few people in the world who knows how the universe actually works. And you won't have to read all of the books that I had to read, but when I'm doing these videos, if you'll try to listen to some of the books that I've read, you're going to go, no way. Like if you're an artist, there's a biography about Leonardo da Vinci, and there is so much about Da Vinci you never knew until you listen to this book. And then you're going to go, wait, he's talking about the universe just like she was. But he said people wouldn't understand it. And art, when I paint things, they come true. So I was busy painting Jesus. I thought I was painting Jesus. I was actually painting the things that were happening to my son, and I didn't even realize it until one day I was just like, oh no, I got to change this. So I have this really large painting. And first, let me start with the small painting. Now, on my Instagram, and I'm not trying to self-promote, I'm trying to teach you about those dark thoughts that go on in your head. I'm trying to teach you about what you have been diagnosed with as far as mental disorders. I'm trying to teach you some of what is happening. It'll help you. It really will help you cope. So please listen, because sometimes I ramble, but that ramble means something. I'm usually predicting something when I ramble. So anyway, I'm going to tell you about this one painting. I did a self-portrait. I thought it was a self-portrait. I was painting myself. I was sitting in front of the mirror. There's a mirror to my right, and there's a window. And so I'm like painting. I'm like painting myself. And but I was really young. I was just like, man. And I had dark hair. And I was just like, but I did have dark hair at the time. And I was just like, man, I look really young. I look way better in this painting than I do in person. But I was just like, I was really young. But I'm like, I'm darker in the painting. It's like I'm darker, a little bit darker complexion. And so before I painted this painting, I was sitting in front of the window, and I'm like, I want to jump out of the window. I was having a really bad day. And I took that energy and I said, I want to jump out of the window. And then I go, wait a minute, I don't want to jump out of the window. Who's saying that? I don't want to jump out of the window. But I had been eating dairy and meat, right? Meat products, not meat itself, but like jelly vitamins. They have meat product in them. And I was eating dairy. And I sporadically had some. One day I had a burger, and I was drinking soda. So anyway, I was doing all of this, and I was using Proactiv. And in Proactiv, I'm sure they did animal testing on it somewhere. So I've been using it less and less these days. That's why I'm breaking out. I had this inclination to pick up the painting and paint dirt on my face, right? So I'm like, why am I painting dirt all over my face? I had dirt all over my face. So, and I posted this painting on Instagram, and then I went into the bathroom and tried to use the hot water, and the valve under the sink was off. And I lived with my daughter, and I said, hey, Molly, did you turn the valve off underneath the sink? And she said, no, I didn't. That happens sometime. And it was by the garbage can. And I'm like, the garbage can couldn't have turned the hot water off because it was around metal. It would have to have flipped it over or something. There's no way it could have turned it off. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, they had this moment where I was telling her something dark was happening, but I laughed when I said it. And my daughter got so mad. She goes, why are you laughing? I'm like, I don't know.
1,000 feet. Continue straight past Taco Bell onto Northwestern Avenue.
But I take on the energy of the person before they die. So I was actually in that mood because that's the mood of the girl. I was channeling her energy.
Continue straight past Taco Bell onto Northwestern Avenue.
So that night, a young girl
In a quarter
fell
mile,
from
turn
the
left
window.
onto the US 101 ramp.
That girl fell from the window and landed next to the garbage can. She was at a party. She probably had a drink in her hand or something, or was in the kitchen. I don't know where. Something, and she fell from the 5th floor. So then a couple of it was like 8 or 9 days later. I don't remember. I went live on Facebook. I go live on Facebook when I do this. And so I went live on Facebook, and I took the painting out again, and I painted the skin much lighter, like a very pale color, and it had blue. And then let me tell you, Noah tried to jump out of a window after that happened. And then I painted a light blue around the mouth, and I painted the blue around the face and the neck. Now Noah has a blue tube coming out of his neck, the color that I painted with almost. So I was predicting what was happening to Noah, but I was also predicting what was happening to someone else. And all of this will probably happen to me all at once. Like all wouldn't surprise me. So maybe it happened to me in my last life, or maybe it's going to happen in my next life. Oh, how entrepreneurial school for kids. That's so awesome. So anyway, I painted this painting, and then I was driving down Sunset going towards Echo Park. The universe is like, it's happening again. So anyway, but Echo. Now I'm going to explain what happens next. In this painting, I ended up painting and saying, this person's dying peacefully. And then I was going down Sunset towards Echo Park, and there was a fire truck in front of me, a paramedic truck, and a fire engine going away from me. And it said 209. And I said, well, it's going away from me, so it might be 902. That night on our street,
Turn left onto the US 101
I
ramp.
won't say the name of the street, but 902 and then the street, someone died from carbon monoxide poisoning. That would be why the person was blue in the face.
In 600 feet, merge onto US 101 North.
I really want those donuts. I couldn't. Dang it. So that night on our street, someone died of carbon monoxide poisoning, but wasn't the first person to have died in that building from carbon monoxide poisoning. So it was saying it was an echo. It was something that was happening again. And that was trippy. So I kept painting on this painting, and one day I painted flowers over this painting. And then my daughter brought me flowers. And then I painted all kinds of things on this painting, and things just kept happening. And so I haven't painted on this painting in a minute because I'm like, nope, I can't handle anymore right now. We got enough to do.
Continue on US 101 North for 5 miles.
So then I found this wooden butcher block table on the street, and I brought it in and I painted hearts all over it. Now it's supposed to be a cutting board, which means maybe they cut animal product on there. So I then have the spirit from those animals with me, right? You know that expression, spirit animal? You actually have spirit animals. Those animals become your identity. That's your person. That's why your personality is always changing. When you eat the animal, it comes through you. When you use makeup that was animal tested on, you'll suffer from depression, anxiety, all kinds of things. When you use Botox, I'll get to the Botox story in a minute. But so based on thoughts, actions in my life, my son and my daughter would encounter. Our children pay for our sins. Now, it's very literal, and I understand how it works, a lot of it. I haven't experienced all of it, so I can't understand what I have not experienced until you tell me the story. Then I can help you do the math to figure out what will happen in your life, just like I'm figuring out what's happening in my life. Now, Banksy, okay, I'm going to go here. There's a clothing brand called Play. Now, the word play is imperative. How we play is how we are played. And so Noah has this shirt on in the hospital, in the care facility. And it's a big heart, and it's got big open eyes, and it's by the company Play. Noah loves that clothing. And so I picked up that shirt for him because I thought it would, like, you know, if you have something on that's familiar, that's also new, you're going to see things progress, right? You're going to be in that state of mind. They say dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So instead of putting Noah in like the clothes he was doing drugs in, or the clothes he was wearing when he was sleeping after he was coming down, I put on things that were comfortable. And I'm slowly bringing little pieces of his past back into his life, but things that have no material value. Like, if there's something material, it'll be something new. But like, the first thing I introduced from his past was a duvet cover that I had on the bed. But then I introduced one of his t-shirts, which is a Bob Marley t-shirt. And it's because of that song, "Don't worry about a thing, everything's gonna be alright." Does he say? I hope he sings that song, because I associate that song with him. So it's like Noah, I'm trying to surround him with positivity. And right now in the nursing care facility, they have him off of all of the drugs he was on, except the methadone, and that is to help with detoxing. He detoxed from the drugs that he was taking, but the hospital was giving him other drugs, and now he's detoxing from those. Now, I've changed most of his life to vegan, and except for I'm not sure about the clothing. I've been buying like Macy's had a huge sale on Ralph Lauren pajamas and stuff like that, and they were 30% off. So, and he got a lot of stuff for a very reasonable price, which would have been probably would have costed more at H&M or something for the same amount of clothing. Maybe more, I'm not sure. But it was a very good, he got a lot of clothes. So, and they're pajamas because he's in bed. And they're like, you could put regular clothes on him. And I'm like, why would you want to wear regular clothes when you're in bed? When you wear like super soft sweat type pants that are super soft to sleep in. And when you have too much on and you're like sweating and stuff, it can get miserable if you can't move and you're uncomfortable. So, and then I bought him a bunch of blankets, which we roll up and put under different parts of his body, but they're soft. I need to get him some thinner blankets in case they turn the heater on in this establishment during the winter. And because I don't want him to be miserable. But anyway, he's been really peaceful for the last couple of days. They lowered his methadone. Now I'm going to tell you some of why. When you don't have drugs in your system and you are not using a lot of products that they do
in a quarter mile, keep left to continue on California 170 North, Hollywood Freeway. Follow signs for Sacramento, Freeway 170 North.
Your emotional and physical health will change. It'll slowly calm down.
Keep left at the fork to continue on California 170 North.
You'll find your life get a little chaotic at first, like ours did. Like, we lost our home. Well, we didn't lose it. We were forced out of it by someone I won't mention. And I was forced to sell it. And so our life changed. We could trust in. So anyway, so you've seen a lot of like negative posts, not major amounts, but some of those posts I have a feeling are of people that made fake accounts. You know, you don't know me, but I actually have a couple of women that can't stand me. And it's not that they can't stand me, they can't stand that I don't break as easily as they'd like me to. Things that broke them did not break me. And when our house, we had a very comfortable life, and but it was taken away. And that was the only life no one knew. And then his life just was a reflection of me. So the universe comes after us one way or another to teach us how to appreciate everything in our lives. So Noah had painted all of this before it happened. Now, when I gave him the sewing machine on his 16th birthday, I didn't really know why I was giving him a sewing machine. I'm just like, I'm going to give him a sewing machine. The universe aligned me to give him a sewing machine. He had been asking me to like, hey, can you sew these patches on my pants? And I wanted to be a clothing designer. And the universe is like, can you do this? Can you do that? And, which Noah was asking me. And I'm like, I'm going to get you a sewing machine. He's excellent with like YouTube videos and learning how to do stuff. And I was always saying, can you hook up this gadget? Because he's really good at that stuff. And Noah would end up sewing, right? He started sewing. And he started sewing when he was 16. At the time, he was airsofting a lot. And he met a lot of guy friends. And I imagine that's when he started getting high. And that was a shame. But it was based on judgments I had over other people that had done drugs. And I'll explain that story later, because then I have to introduce a new person. And right now, this is about Noah. So but it's about me also, because if you understand me, then you'll understand the things that happened to Noah. It's called a paradigm. If you don't know what a paradigm is, Google it. I had to Google it too. There was a time when I had to Google everything. And so even things I know, I still have to Google to see what people call it. Like, what do they call this? Is there a name for this? And
In 2 miles, take exit 11A for Sheldon Street.
So, people that helped me understand, see, I already knew things. I just didn't know that other people knew these things. I thought maybe it was all in my head. So, quantum physics, I thought it was just a bunch of math. I didn't really understand it had to do with God and space and aliens and all what people call aliens. I didn't really understand it. I'm just like, I'm living something. There's like spirits in me telling me things, showing me things. Is this all in my head? And I'm like, no, that's what kind of quantum physics is. That's amazing. And then I started reading about Einstein. Not his theory, but Einstein brought up his theory, and I'm like, that's what I know. That's amazing. How do I know this stuff without having ever read it? And then I'm like reading Stephen Hawking stuff, and they said Stephen Hawking calculated, which meant he used equipment to do the algorithms and the math of all of us. And a lot of people think it's the government trying to find stuff
In half a
out.
mile, take exit 11A for Sheldon Street.
It's scientists trying to calculate the messages from God. But I'm like, he talks to me all the time, every day, all day. Like, there's some message that he's taught me, like,
Take
guidance,
exit 11A.
and or maybe trying to sabotage me. I don't know. But what I do know is I asked for it.
1,000 feet, use any lane to turn left onto Sheldon Street.
What did I ask? I asked Jesus to let me see what he sees. I'm like, I want to know what you know. And wow, he never rests. He can't possibly rest
Use any lane to turn left onto Sheldon Street.
with all of this chaos going on around him. Think about how often you ask him for something, never offer him anything. You know what he loves? Because he is everything. He loves when we pick up garbage off the streets. He loves when we treat our animals with consideration. He loves
In
when
a quarter
we
mile,
don't
turn right onto
eat
North Laurel Canyon
meat.
Boulevard.
He loves when we don't justify cruelty to animals or humans. He loves when we don't judge. Why? Because it gives him peace. If you had a best friend and their dad said, we're gonna sacrifice our son and we're gonna fucking kill our son today, and then I want you guys to step by and
Turn right onto North Laurel Canyon
all
Boulevard.
of your problems onto him. What are you gonna think of your best friend's dad? Are you gonna think, What the hell is
In
wrong
1,000
with
feet,
my
turn
friend's
left onto the
dad?
I-5 South ramp.
Why would he tell me he was going to kill my best friend? And why would he want us to give him throw all of our baggage on him? Why would he do that?
Turn left onto the I-5 South ramp.
Do you really listen to how we reason? Oh yeah, I'm going to go give Jesus all my burdens.
Continue on I-5 South for
That's
1.5
rude.
miles.
Don't you think that would be Satan trying to trick you into screwing Jesus over? Yeah, don't give him all your burdens. Don't. Why don't we start being kinder to each other? Why don't we stop doing some of the stuff that we do? There is so much to be said about being kinder. And I've experienced some judgments on Instagram. But you know what? I judged Kris Kardashian for her parenting. So therefore someone would judge me for my parenting. If you judge someone that's getting a lot of attention, it's because you yourself want to justify your shortcomings and say, they're way worse than me. It just happens. And she's one of the parents that I thought I could easily say, oh, she's way worse than me.
In half a mile, take exit 151 for Penrose Street.
But the truth is, she's a great mom for putting herself there to make sure her children were taken care of. Because she obviously had to endure a lot in her life. Just because you're married to someone that's getting a lot of attention doesn't mean
Take exit 1.
you're happy. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that you're happy. So I'm someone that had someone do a lot for me, and I was able to help a lot of people with what he was
In 800
doing for
feet,
me.
turn right onto Penrose Street.
And
Turn right onto Penrose Street.
and now I'm not anymore, and they've shown me that I no longer matter, and then the universe will align
Continue
back
on Penrose Street for 3/4 mile.
to know how I feel, because they already aligned me to know what they felt like to have nothing and to need help from strangers. And I'm not afraid to ask for help. I used to be really afraid to act like I needed any help. And then universe aligned me to be humbled. You know that song, Humble? I can relate to that song, Be Humble. Ooh, there's Bradley. Bradley Cooper keeps coming up. I don't know what that means. He is hot. That guy is so good looking though. Did you see A Star Is Born? Now, Bradley Cooper, it could be the part he played in A Star Is Born. It could be that character. Like, maybe that is going to happen to someone. What happened to him in the movie? I'm hoping it doesn't. Now, I just saw a street that said Norris. I think of Jim Morrison, and then I think of this man that was our neighbor named Morris, and he loved Noah. And then I think of Noah. If you put Noah in front of Morris, and Morris lived to be, I think, like 100, almost 100. But he was our neighbor, and he had Alzheimer's. And he was the kindest man. He was so kind, and he used to call him a little fella. And we would go over to Morris's house. Noah was like 1, and we'd just stroll over to, maybe 2. We'd stroll over to Morris's house, and Morris had this big block of Trader Joe's chocolate in his bottom drawer. And we would go I'm going to go get something.
In 500 feet, sharp left onto Sunland
Sweet.
Boulevard.
I always crave sweet.
Sharp left onto Sunland Boulevard.
So I'm going to turn this off, the navigation. But Oh, let me turn it off. Anyway, Morris, like Morris out for meals. There was this place we'd go to, and what was it called again? For crying out, it was in West LA. We lived in, that was a fancy driver. We lived in West LA, and maybe I just want French fries. I just had French fries. It's the carbs. But then if I have ketchup, then I'm not eating dairy. So I don't know what's going on. They're hiring now, and I really should try to get a job out here. But I'm trying to promote my art. I am, before someone had written me to see if I wanted to put my art in this show, but I don't think my art will sell for as much as it's worth there. My art predicts things, so that's something. Oh, pancakes. Pancakes have eggs. Yeah. Can I have something sweet, please? Hello. You get a baked potato, but then it has. Oh, pie slice. I'm just gonna have French fries. I want to get Noah some food.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hi, can I get a large French fry, please?
Large fry?
Yeah.
Is that all for you?
Yes, please.
I'm sorry?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, your total is $367.
I had dairy earlier. I had a grilled cheese sandwich. And I'm just waiting for that one to come at me. So, chocolate cake sounds so good, but no, thank you. I don't consume a lot of things that are really bad for me, except for French fries, man. I love French fries. And I stopped drinking soda, and I don't drink coffee.
Alright, so want to go to your French fries, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so you have 367.
So I don't get a lot of caffeine, and I don't get a lot of sleep either. So I have the carbs. They just, tonight I need to stay awake. I am gonna go see Noah right now, and then I'm gonna go do laundry. I'm gonna go back and feed the pets. Hi. And I'm going to.
Do you want to receive that?
No, thank you.
Alrighty.
And then I'm gonna go back and see my son
Nice name,
again
please.
and spend part of the night there.
Keep the salt and pepper.
Salt, please. So, please.
Alright, you got it ready to go.
Thank you. Excuse me. Oh, wow. Ugh. I'm not trying to have a heart attack. Hello. I'm going to give you some of these back. And can I get ketchup, please?
Ketchup?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you. But dude is hella generous. He gave me at least 15 salts. I was like, I'm pretty sure. If I'm gonna die today, I'm gonna die. I had a bag of popcorn in here I totally forgot about from the movies. When I go see movies, it predicts stuff for me. I'm able to see stuff that's coming. I met someone recently, and her name is Kai. And then there was someone else named Kai, and then someone else, the name Kai keeps coming up. I don't know what that means. But Kai was, she's very sweet. Very, very sweet. And she had experienced a brain injury. And she comforted me. And I found a lot of strength in her. I need to contact her. But I had this painting that I was working on, and it was telling a story, and there were a bunch of people in this painting. And there was this one man in a wheelchair, and I said, I don't want to paint anybody in a wheelchair. I don't want to make that happen for someone. So I'm going to park here really quickly. So then I painted this man standing up, and it looked like Jesus. And I was just like, I don't want to make this Jesus. So I put a chicken head on him. And I was trying to make the chicken human, right? And then my son overdosed. And Noah's screen name on Instagram was "Where's My Head Gone?" And my old screen name used to be Chicky with a Mind. So I changed Noah's screen name to how I see Noah, which is awesome. He is awesome. You just hang around him and you feel better. And most of his friends feel that way. I know I feel that way. And so, sorry. Made me think of, is it Demi Lovato that sings Sorry? Not Sorry. I love Demi Lovato. And Selena Gomez and Taylor Swift. And so I bought a Demi Lovato bag one day right before our overdose. Every time I pick something up of someone's or buy something, something goes awry. So I bought a pair of Tiffany eyeglass frames and I took them back. I got them for 30% off with my AAA discount, but I still took them back. So I hope it's for Tiffany. And when I think of Tiffany, right now I think of Tiffany Amber Thiessen. She used to have a Porsche, and I saw her in LA one time. And I wanted that Porsche like she had. What did I have at the time? I had a BMW, or I don't know what I had. I've always had like fun cars. And I ended up getting that Porsche Boxster. But it's in Canada because I couldn't make the payments anymore and I couldn't afford to get it back. So it's just sitting there. And at my old landlord's house. So his name's John. And my story was, I'm going to tell you one of the reasons my son tried drugs. I had this boyfriend named Cameron in 2005. And he was the lead singer in a band in Canada. And they ended up getting nominated for a Juno for Best New Album of the Year or Artist of the Year or something. And I tried drugs for the first time. I tried pot once when I was 34. That was the first time I tried getting stoned. And I was at a wedding with my very young boyfriend. Almost everyone I date is way younger than me. Firstly, most men my age don't ask me out. I'm very strong-willed and very independent in how I carry myself. So it's it is what it is. But Cam was very, very cute. Now, the boy I dated, I was 34 and he was 20. Now, when I was 34, I didn't look, probably looked about 24, 25. Doesn't matter, I was still 34. The universe is like, aren't you too old for him? I'm like, yes. He was like a state wrestling champion in a college in Northern California. And his coach looked at me like, this is an honest to God conversation we had. He moved me into my new house, which I was sharing a house with someone. And it was like a mini mansion. And that's when I got pregnant and had Noah. But I told this boyfriend he couldn't move in with me. And but my friend Louise had sold this huge giant flat screen TV to me. Well, she was selling it and I bought it. And I gave it to Brandon for helping me move. And his wrestling coach was like, he was teaching me how to be a parent. He's like, that's a very like decadent thing to give someone for helping you move. I'm like, it would have costed more for a mover. So Brandon ended up telling me that it wasn't Queen Latifah. It wasn't as great as I thought I was. And broke my spirit, which I deserved. And so I would move on. I would get pregnant with Noah. And I had had this off and on again relationship since I was 23. With this one person. And it was the person that paid for the mansion that I lived in. And paid for my whole life. But I grew up in an abusive home with a mom that was an alcoholic, but a functioning alcoholic. And there were parts of my mom that I really loved and admired, and parts of her that scared the shit out of me. And but I grew up in a home from the age of 13. Before that, we were very poor. But I didn't know we were as poor as we were because my mom always cooked food for us. And we always had a roof over our head. And I was taught how to care for my brothers. You know, I was like carrying babies around and watching kids. And I was the oldest, so I only knew how to care for others. And I'm still somewhat the same way. But I judged my mom. Therefore, I had to face those judge and pay attention. So his next life is going to be a rough one for him. And my heart goes out to him because he doesn't have a clue. And I don't have a clue what's going to happen in my next life. But I'll overcome some stuff. I think it'll end up being a really great life shortly after I'm born. Or I'll be born into a really great life and then have to overcome some stuff. Any judgments that I've had in this life. What we judge becomes our reality. And so I don't look for quick fixes. I'm just like, how do I cope through it? Because this is reality. Now you can pay some of your sins in this lifetime, or you can pay some of your sins in your next lifetime. I asked for something very specific. I wanted world peace. I want kids to have food and water. There are my fire engines. I also, 77 and 14, which is 5. Isn't that great? I'm learning math. So I want to be the smartest person in the world. And the only other being other than my children and my grandchild and my pets that I trust is Jesus. I trust God in that God is exact. But I trust that Jesus is the one that works with me he takes the time to show me things that I didn't see in God. Like I see in God pain, and I see in him and her, I see frustration and like sometimes defeat, sometimes hopelessness, sometimes revenge, sometimes pettiness. But with Jesus, I see loyalty to a fault. And so my son Noah is a funny guy because he's like very, very loving. And I used to see all these happy faces around. And when I said that about God, these two little girls showed up. And one has it's not a happy face. It's like one of those faces. Like what? So, there's a lot going on. And right now there's a family in front of me. And it says Pathfinder. And they look like really sweet kids. And one kid has a Vans shirt, and then it says Off the Wall, which is telling me to take Noah's skateboard and the painting off the wall. So these are messages, and I was sitting here waiting for a message, I guess. And I got the message, and now I'm gonna go see my son and then go do his laundry. So anyway, I'll finish some of this up later, but just know I'm going to try to figure out a way to help all of you kids too, somehow, some way, more than just this story. I want to try to figure out a way to prevent stuff like this. And it starts from a very young age. Those sins that our parents are committing, we pay for them. The sins you commit, your parents pay for too. You don't even realize it. And so I love my son. I love my daughter. I love my other son. My granddaughter and my pets and friends and family. But right now, I'm the family that goes to see Noah all the time. So I need to be there for my son. And thank you, little Zan. Thank you, Diego. I have a car to get to see my son because my car was impounded like a month before Noah's overdose, maybe 2 months. And so I couldn't drive to him. I couldn't go pick him up all the time anymore. And I used to go pick him up in the middle of the night, middle of the morning, middle of the day, you name it. I would go pick him up. If he was coming down and his sister didn't want to be around him, I would sleep in the car with him. Then I'd go make food for him or get food, make sure his laundry was done most of the time, and try to be there for him. This has been it's been a family experience, and Noah emotionally might have gone through this. He might have felt he was alone, but he did say, I know you always got my back, Mom. I know you're always going to be there for me. And then near the end, before the overdose, the last few days, I couldn't be there for him, and I tried. And it only took 3 days. And he must have just felt hopeless. Like, my mom's trying the best she knows how, and she keeps asking the village. And then I got picked on by some guy saying, you had another GoFundMe. I said, you're right. I was trying to create enough art that I could sell so I could buy another house for me and my family. Shame on me. And I was cleaning houses. I did whatever I had to do, and except for like get a job at McDonald's or something. I didn't. Not gonna lie. I'd worked fast food when I was young. it's I don't know. But now I'll do whatever I gotta do. But I'd prefer to sell some of my art and stuff, because if I go to work somewhere and I have to work 8 to 10 hour days, then I don't have the energy to spend 8 or 10 hours here without impacting my health. I'm 55. At 55, no one should be on their feet. And when I'm with Noah, I'm on my feet a lot. I'm standing up over the bed, massaging his feet or running around, and I'm going to go do our laundry, or I'm caring for my pets, and then if I lay down, I feel guilty. And then my one cat comes over and he's just like, pet me. The only time I'm not doing something is if I'm asleep, or if I'm driving, or if I'm doing laundry, which is doing something, but it's the only time I just go. So I don't get a lot of me time. And if I'm going to a movie, I'm trying to understand the signs. I'm trying to appreciate what the universe is trying to teach me, because if you ask to be the smartest person in the world, you better pay attention. You better pay attention. So anyway, it's been over an hour and I'm gonna get off of this thing. See you later. I'll tell Noah you said hi.